Now we are going to learn two concepts. First, electric field lines, and second, electric flux from the first chapter, electric charges and fields. Here we have a big positive charge placed in a medium. The region around the charge where another charge experiences a force of attraction or repulsion is called electric field of the charge. Also, we have learned that to find the strength of electric field at a point, we place a unit positive charge at that point. The force on the positive charge is called electric field intensity E. So in the figure we have placed a unit positive charge near the big charge. It experiences a force of repulsion which we represent using arrows. The length of the arrow is a measure of strength of the magnetic field. If we consider points far away from the charge, we can draw arrows of smaller length. If we consider another point still far away from the charge, length of the arrow again decreases. Another method to draw continuous lines instead of arrows. Electric field lines are drawn in a region to represent the strength and direction of field in that region. Direction of field is given by the direction in which unit positive charge will move. Strength of the field is given by the number of field lines passing through the region. For example, let us consider two similar areas, 1 and 2. Both are of the same measurement. Through the first area, we can see that two field lines passes through the area, and through the second area, we have only one field line. It means that in the first area, which is near the charge, the strength of the field is high, and in the second region, which is far away from the charge, the strength of the field is less. Next, we are going to discuss about the properties of electric field lines. Tangent drawn at any point on a field line gives the direction of electric field at that point. Here we have drawn a field line. A point P is taken. Tangent drawn at point P gives the direction of electric field at that point. As we have learned earlier, for a positive charge, field lines points radially outwards. If we place a unit positive charge near the big positive charge, it gets repelled away from the charge. So the direction of field line is drawn outwards. The field lines start from charge and end at infinity. For a negative charge, field lines points radially inwards. If we place a unit positive charge near it, the charge gets attracted towards the negative charge. So the field lines of a negative charge start from infinity and end on the charge. Third property is, when a positive charge is placed near a negative charge, field lines start from positive charge and end on negative charge. Fourth property is, field lines do not intersect each other. If they intersect each other, it means that field has two directions at that point, which is not possible. Here we have drawn two field lines. They intersect at a common point. We can draw tangent considering the first line like this. If we draw tangent considering the second line, it will be like this. So at the point of intersection, field line has two directions, which is not possible. Fifth property is, field lines are continuous loops without any breaks. Field lines do not form closed loops. Another point to remember is that when two unlike charges are placed close to each other, the field lines contract and the two charges attract each other. When two like charges, say two positive charges or two negative charges, are placed close to each other, field lines diverge and the two charges repel each other. Now consider a positive plate and equally charged negative plate. Uniform electric field is produced between these two plates. Next we are going to discuss about the concept of electric flux. Electric flux through an area in an electric field is the measure of number of field lines passing through an area. Now let us see what are the factors on which electric flux depends. If the strength of the field is high, the number of field lines passing through it will be high. So it is the first point. Second one, it depends on the area. If larger is the area, more field lines pass through it. When smaller areas are considered, field lines are less. The third one is the number of field lines of flux depends on the angle between electric field E and area A. As we know, area vector is drawn perpendicular to the plane of which we are talking about. Here we have placed the plane perpendicular to the electric field. ds is a small area on the plate. From the figure we can see that when the plate is placed perpendicular, the number of field lines passing through the plate is 5. If we tilt the area as in figure 2, the number of field lines decreases. Now the electric field line and ds are not in the same direction. As you know, the direction of ds is perpendicular to the plane. Now flux d phi is equal to E dot ds. D phi is equal to E ds cos theta. When theta is equal to 0, d phi is equal to E ds cos 0. Cos 0 is equal to 1. So we can write flux d phi is equal to E ds. That is, flux is maximum when the plane is perpendicular to field. When theta is equal to 90, d phi is equal to E ds cos 90. Cos 90 equal to 0. That is, d phi is equal to 0. So when the plane is parallel to field, flux through it is 0. Now we are going to find the electric flux over a closed surface. Here we have taken a sphere. Consider positive charge to be placed inside the sphere. ds is a small area on the sphere. We have drawn the area vector ds and the electric field vector through ds. The angle between them is theta. We can find the electric flux through ds, d phi. Similarly, we can consider the whole surface of the sphere to be made up of small areas, each of value ds. So the total flux equal to phi. Phi is equal to integral d phi equal to integral E dot ds. Now let us find the unit of phi. Unit of electric field is Newton per coulomb or Newton by coulomb, and unit of area is meter square. So we can write the unit of flux phi equal to Newton coulomb raised to minus 1 meter square. A law which we have to discuss along with electric flux is Gauss law. Gauss law states that the electric flux over a closed surface phi is equal to q by epsilon 0, where q is the net charge inside the closed surface.